game of basketball has taken us places we can never imagine. For winning 4 EuroLeague titles,
playing 6 years in 5 countries,
and making connections with people from all around the world.
we have stories that can last a lifetime. Now it's time to tell yours.
When I met Michael Jordan for the first time, and still to this day, if I see him, he's glowing.
It just came down to, like I said, looking myself in the mirror like, brother, do you want to play ball or not?
I've never been in an environment like EuroLeague.
Because, living over here in Europe, bro, we kings over this joint, bro.
Right.
Denver Nuggets.
Appreciate y'all having us on here.
Yes, sir, man. Big time. This is really dope.
This is Hoop Tales. Welcome everybody back to another edition of the Hoop Tales podcast. Today I'm very excited. Our guest today has one of the best stories in European basketball. He's an all EuroLeague guard, a former EuroLeague champion, Winston-Salem's finest, Ricky Hickman. Rick, what's good, man? How's everything?
My guy, was good.
Good to have you, Mr. Hickman.
I also got one of the best floaters too. You forgot that.
Y'all boys up too, man.
Not much, man. Just checking in on you, seeing how everything's going.
Man, it's weird, dog. Everybody is trying to adjust, man, and it's been, weird. Everybody just I want to go hoop so bad, just at least shoot a few shots and, play some games. But like now, don't know what's gonna happen these next couple months, dog.
Yeah, man. A lot of uncertainty, man, and especially for like you was like right in the middle of the situation when in Italy. So how was that for like you and your family like throughout those whole times?
It was crazy because I went over there late. I went over there in like January. Then we had just kind of started to get kind of acclimated and stuff, and basketball was starting to pick up a little bit. And then like when this happened, it was just like it was just like a shock. So like we ended up, I think once they said it was like they were going to shut down the whole border and everything, we ended up driving to Slovenia, and we just chilled there for a couple of days. And then we were just like, it's probably best just to come back to the States and wait on whatever decision they was gonna make. And then I think just a couple of days ago they decided to finally cancel the league. So it is what it is now. Everybody just kind of just waiting to see what the next step's gonna be with the season. Because I think I heard somebody say maybe July, August they might try to do something. And so I don't know. It's just really, really just uncertainty everywhere right now.
Yeah, it's super weird. Like, I mean, even for myself, like I feel like I literally just feel like almost like a stay-at-home dad right now. Like, it's just like I don't have no routine, like no nothing. It's like we just basically wake up and it's just like I'm so used to like go out in the morning, going to practice. Like even like we're here during the summer, it's like I'm getting my workouts and I'm doing something. Yeah. But it's like literally like we just at home. So like how's that adjustment been for you? Like how you been like trying like to stay in shape and do stuff like that?
Well, actually, like, me, wifey, and, like, the kids, we try to make it fun. We try to do something every day. Like, we'll come outside and, kind of create, like, a circuit. So we'll do, like, a little circuit train. We got some hills over here, so we'll hit some hills, do some jump roping, biking. Just trying to stay active, man, because, like you said, the routine is just it's just so weird now. Mm-hmm. I was in the transition anyway. I was going to probably play maybe one more year. And, like, this happened, so it's kind of like you just really don't know what to do. So I'm just staying in shape just because, you never know.
Yeah. Now, one of the main reasons we wanted to get you on here, obviously, you my boy, and we all friends and all that, but you have one of the kind of like the dopest stories in European basketball. A lot of people don't really know your story, so we wanted to kind of give viewers and give, younger players opportunity to kind of know, where you came from and how you kind of started. You pretty much started, you started from, Romania, and then, a couple years later, you was a EuroLeague champ. So we're going to go all the way back, though. We're going to go all the way back to the beginning and talk about, you growing up in the Trey 4 in Winston-Salem. So, North Carolina is famous for basketball. You know, there's some of the, you know, most legendary people have come out, even in Winston-Salem, you know, with ACC and all that. So, you know, how was that growing up in North Carolina? How was that growing up in Winston-Salem? Where'd you kind of find your love for basketball?
Well, I mean, I actually really started playing football before I started playing basketball. So I played football since like Pop Warner. So probably from like 7 till probably about 12.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, you know, I started to play, you know, in some other leagues. But like football was like my, you know, number one thing growing up. Everybody in the neighborhood always played football. I mean, I played basketball too, but it just wasn't like number one.
What position were you in the football?
I was playing wide out and DB.
Hands, huh?
Huh?
So you got some hands, huh?
I tried, dog. I tried. But like once I got to like high school, like I played my freshman year and like that was it. So, I mean, between that time, I was playing basketball kind of, you know, periodically. I would say probably when I turned probably around like 10 or 11 is when I like really started to like put in a lot of time and take it really seriously.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so as far as professionally, I actually started out in Hungary.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Hungary. My bad.
No, it's people don't really know that. So I started out in Hungary. I went over there for like I want to say like a 2-week tryout, and then like I was solid, but I wasn't in good shape, you know, because I expected to get a job at a certain time. Then I think I got that job like towards the end of November or whatever. So I wasn't in the best of shape. So I got sent home like after those 2 weeks. Then I came home. I started working at FedEx, unloading boxes. So I was actually working at FedEx in a warehouse.
Really?
And, like, yeah, I was working at FedEx for probably a couple weeks.
I never knew that.
Yeah, me neither.
I was working at FedEx, and then after I was doing third shifts, like I would go into work at like 9:30, and I would get done at like 4:30, 5:30 in the morning. Then like I would go work out at like 7 in the morning till like 9. So I did that for like a week, and then like the next week I was starting, then I got a call from Romania. So I left like right after a week. So I worked there for a week. I went to Romania, and then like it was like third world, dog. Like I remember I was staying in an apartment with like 2 other Americans. One named Boomer, and the other guy was named Shareem. I think he was from New York. So
Boomer?
we shared an apartment. And yeah, man, like when you look out the window, you would see like horses and like carriages, like people were just riding horses across the street. It was crazy. And then like we had to take showers. Like we didn't have showers in our apartment, so whenever we had to take a shower, we walked like 10 minutes to the gym, took our shower, and came back. That's what
you didn't have showers in your apartment?
Yeah, no showers in the apartment.
So you really came from above, like
like we were literally like
on the bottom.
Gym, we took a shower like on weekends or something. Like we wanted to go out, you know, go into like Capitol, whatever. We go into the gym, take our shower, dress back at the apartment, then we would just get. So yeah, man. Basically, it was rough there, and so we played, and then I remember at the end of the season, I think we were like, I want to say like, you know how there's some leagues that have like the playoffs and then they have the playouts.
Yeah.
So like we got to the playouts, I think it was like night. We got to the playouts, and then they were like, we're not going to pay you guys for like the playouts part. So like we was getting ready to have practice the next day, and I just booked the flight and left. Like,
I'm about to say,
I remember that.
I'm not gonna pay you.
I remember that because I was Rick's for everybody know Rick's a year ahead of me, so I was still at school at UNCG. So I remember like that morning you called me and was like, "Yo, I may need you to come pick me up from the airport." I was like, "Yo, what you talking about?" I was like, "You supposed to be overseas." He was like, "Yo, I might need you to pick me up from the airport." I remember getting that call. I want to say it was Raleigh. And he was like, "Yo, I need you to pick me up at this time."
Yeah, it wasn't Raleigh.
Yeah, and I remember I hopped up there. I think it was like me and KO. We went there to pick you up. You was like, yeah, man, they said they was gonna pay us, so I just left.
I dipped, and then like trying to think what happened. So after that, trying to think, was that?
Do you remember, just to kind of give people like a frame of reference for a lot of like a younger like people, like do you remember how much you signed for?
Which one, in Romania?
Yeah,
$3,000 a month.
3,000 a month.
You got to go home in the summer. I mean, in Christmas break, and I blew everything. Like everything was gone. Everything was gone. Like I bought Christmas presents. I bought my family some stuff, and then like literally, I went back to Romania with probably like $500 in my bank account.
That's crazy.
So after that, we had like January, February, March, April, and then I think that's when that happened. I had probably like $15,000 when I came back, and then the summer, same thing happened again. Like everything was basically gone.
I'm like that summer, you probably felt like when you got that money in your bank account, you probably thought that was like $1 million. It probably felt like
I was just buying clothes. Like I literally blew through 15,000 probably in like 4 weeks. 4 weeks. I went on some vacations. Took me and my wife. Now we went somewhere like. So then I started working. I was like, man, I gotta get it in. So I started hitting the gym, and then I think I went to was it Finland? Yeah, it was.
No, it was Germany, right?
It was Germany, but it's another story. So like when I was getting ready to go to Germany, I actually went to one of my friends. His name Chris Oliver, playing for Guddington at the time. So I didn't have a job, so I went to Guddington to work out with him and the team. So they was working out. I would be practicing with them sometimes. Sometimes I didn't practice. Sometimes I would just go do some extra work, just training. And then I played. They had like another team. I guess you could say like a league in the league below. I don't know if it's Pro A, Pro B, whatever. I can't remember. But there's Pro A. And then so I played. I had a really good game. And then like that next week, I signed in Gießen. And they were like, I think the last place team. So I was looking at it like, it's an opportunity. So I went ahead and I signed. I went, I probably played about 17 minutes a game. But it was cool, though. I mean, I got to play in the first league. And, we lost a lot of games. But, I mean, I was just really happy just to actually just be in the, first division. So after that season, that's when I like really started to, turn it up as far as like workouts. I was going 2 times a day, cardio, weights. Like I was really like going 7 days a week. I really didn't take no time off. I was just really, really like probably the hardest I ever worked. And then I signed in Finland, but I went to Finland probably, that was like at the beginning of the season, I think. So I went to Finland pretty much at the beginning of the season, and then I was just like balling. Like I think I averaged like 25, like 7 rebounds, like 5 assists, like something really good. So, but I put the work in. So like I actually like expected to go there and play well.
Mm-hmm.
So season's over, and then I come home. I start working out immediately, ready for the the next opportunity. Then I get a call from Marco Crespi, who at the time was coaching Casale Monferrato, and he was telling me, he saw me in Finland, he's watched a lot of my tape, and he want me to come in as an insurance player. So I mean, I wasn't quite sure what he meant by that. So he explained to me what exactly insurance player is. So I hopped on the flight pretty much like a couple days later, and I'm there, and I come in. Like literally, they were in practice. I change, and like he subs me in practice immediately. And then, just for like competitive drills, like the 3-on-3s, 2-on-2s, 1-on-1 stuff. I'm fresh out the plane, so I was dead tired. And then after the practice, he took me 1-on-1, like, and this is like the first day. He took me 1-on-1 and like put me through a workout for like 45 minutes to an hour. And like just all stuff like I had no idea about. Like I was really excited because I wanted to work hard, but then at the same time, I just liked the level. I liked being in Italy. I saw, you know, some film on the team, and like, you know, I saw that it was really, you know, good opportunity. So to make a long story short, you know, I'm there from basically the playoffs. So we go through the playoffs. I'm expecting to maybe, you know, get a chance to play in the playoffs, but I didn't play the whole playoffs. He didn't, because I was there just in case someone got hurt, basically. But he was still working me like I was there. Like after every practice, we would do one-on-one workouts and pick and roll stuff, shooting. You know, he would take the pad, you know, we finishing and stuff like that. So he was always like putting in extra work with me. So season is over. They have an option to, you know, extend me for the next season. And I really honestly was like, didn't know. I was really wouldn't been surprised if they didn't. But he called me like, you know, look, we want to bring you in. It's going to be a big challenge, but you know, we want you to come and be there. So I come in the next year. You know, preseason is tough. You know, it's just a whole new ball game because, you know, he brought me in there to start and be like, you know, his starting guard. So I remember like first game, I played awful. We lost. Then the second game, played okay, but not really well. We still lost. So in the third game, I think we played Yezi. You remember them, Cal?
Yeah.
We played Yezi. And then, we lost that game on the road. Like, we got smacked. I want to say about like 25, 30, something like that. Then, so he comes in the locker room. He's like, look, I don't think this is going to work, Ricky.
In front of the whole team?
I'm like, yo, I'm right here. Like, you just talking.
In front of the whole team, he said this?
The whole team's like, don't work. This might not be the right fit. And then Thomas Fantoni and Mala Ventura, you know, like two of the best teammates I ever played with, they stepped and say, no, he's going to grow with us. You know, he's the right guy for us. We really believe in Ricky, and, you know, we want him to be here. So, I mean, they stepped up and said that. I was like, okay. So he rolled with it. You know, things started to get better and better. I think the next game I had like 27 and like 5 assists, and we won the game. And then from then on, it was just like, boom, we like stormed through the rest of the season. And we won Legadue, moved up to A1. I got named MVP of the playoffs, MVP of the season. So it was just a great, you know, turnaround. And then after that, I mean, Crespi became my man. I mean, we like best friends to this day. Like, we still speak. And he's always like been a positive person for me.
Would you say that like that season was the turning point of your career overseas?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like, it was just like a whole different type of challenge. Like, I never been in a situation where like a coach literally comes in there and it's like telling like, yo, I'm about to cut this guy.
Yeah.
So, like, I could have easily just said, you know, F him and like been ready to go back home. But, you know, I really wanted to make it work. I thought about the opportunity. I was like, man, like, you can't lose this opportunity. So I went hard in practice, you know, having great practices, you know, always doing extra work with him. He always put me through extra work after practice, just me and him. And, you know, it paid off.
Now, to kind of circle back to like when you said you worked at FedEx, you know, you were going through all these kind of like teams where, you know, you had roommates and you had all this other stuff. Is there any time that you thought like when you're playing in these lower leagues that you just want to quit and it's like, you know, I'd rather just get a regular 9 to 5? Like, cause you're like, what kept you like confident throughout all like through that?
It was probably like after Romania, I was like, yo, I'm gonna get this like 2 more years. And then like if it keeps up at this level, I'm coming back home. So like, I mean, it worked out though. Like, literally, I mean, I knew I was gonna have to take a sacrifice with the money aspect in the beginning. Like, I knew that's how it was gonna go. I just wanted the opportunity. Like, that was my main thing. Just, you know, even if I had to take less, just get me on an opportunity where I can, you know, play well, and then from then on, I can kind of dictate the money I'm gonna pay. So, and that's what happened.
As far as high school, like Kyle said, a ton of pros that come out of North Carolina. Just talk about what it was like coming up in high school, some of the guys you played against, and what those battles were like.
Yeah, man, we had a really, really good high school area of basketball. I was on one side of town with East Forsyth. Then Rayshawn Terry, he was on another side of town who played at Carolina, played at Bamberg, he played all over. And then you had Chris Paul, who was on another side of town. But we all in the same area, so we always play against each other like 2 times a year. And it was a few other players that they didn't play professionally, but they played, D2, D1, small schools. So I mean, it was really competitive. But I always enjoyed obviously playing against, Ray Terry and CP whenever we played high school. Because CP actually, he didn't play varsity his first 2 years. Like he didn't play varsity. He didn't play varsity until 11th grade, 12th grade year. So my first year, I played 9th grade. Mm-hmm. So you got like at Reynolds, which is like a powerhouse team. So like 9th grade, and then you got JV, then you got varsity. So after my 9th grade year, I was getting into too much trouble. So we ended up moving actually over to where my aunt was staying, and she sold us the house, so we stayed. And that's when I went to East Forsyth. And then I started playing varsity my 10th grade year and 11th and 12th grade year. So my 10th grade year was, I was playing solid. I was, actually playing, probably better than everybody expected. And then, like, obviously I knew of Chris because we played AAU together. And I'm seeing him dominate, like he dominates JV, like it's crazy, like averaging like 35 and like 8 assists, something crazy. And like his brother, who was like, his brother was like the man.
Really?
In varsity, like he was the man. He was the point guard. Like everybody thought CJ was gonna be like that dude. So going into my junior year, like I had a guy who was in Turner Battle. He played in, I think he was playing up north now. Well, he's coaching up north now at Siena and stuff. Is it Siena? I think it's Siena. But so when he left, I became like the starting guard, whatever. And then everybody was talking about Chris was moving up to varsity his 11th grade year. And then you had Rayshawn on the other side of Winston-Salem, who everybody was talking about, because he just transferred to Reynolds, who had a powerhouse. They had like him with Hoka. They had a lot of like powerhouse guys. And then I remember we got smacked that year. Like every time we played Chris, they destroyed us. Every time we played Reynolds, they destroyed us. Like we just got destroyed every time. And then like Chris just stepped on the scene and like he was averaging like 27 or something like that. And I remember at the end of the year, I think I made all I don't know how they do it in y'all city, but like they have like a newspaper like where they give like everybody
like all conference, all district
type stuff. So like I made it, and then it just kind of drove me crazy because I saw a record was like 8 and like 20, like something stupid. And then you see Chris, they lost like 1 game. Ray, like they lost like 2 games. So I'm just like, golly, man. And obviously we didn't make the playoffs. And then I just remember going to like some of the battles between Reynolds and West when Chris was there. I'm like, he was just destroying, dog. Like it was crazy to watch because I never thought that he was going to be like that, especially at the level. So he destroyed. And that year, I think we played AAU. I think we won the national championship with Kappa Magic. It was me, him, Rayshawn Terry, Roy Peak played on some state. Trying to think of people y'all might know. Another guy named Brandon who played football at UNC. We had Coach Andre Gould.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a couple other people. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Who was some of like notable names y'all played against during the AAU championship time?
We played against Andrew Lavender.
Mm-hmm.
Remember? In
Yeah,
Ohio?
the guard. Yeah.
Travis, I think, played on the same team. And then they had we played against Mike Nardi.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember the team that he was on, but he was really good back then. Who else did we play against? I mean, that year I remember when we played Andrew Lavender. That was probably like our toughest game.
Mm-hmm.
That was our toughest game for sure. We played against Roderick and Lodrick Stewart.
Mm-hmm.
Twins. They were nice back in the day. Man, it's so many people, man. Like I still got actually tapes of like our games from back in the day.
I gotta see that, bro.
VHS.
Definitely gotta see that.
And yeah, I'm pretty sure. I know Chris got like every single game on tape.
Yeah.
1,000%. But yeah, that was a little bit through high school, and then I remember my senior year. We had a great senior year. We actually lost in the quarterfinals. Because if we would have won that game, we would have played Chris and them like in the Final Four. No, sorry,
Mm-hmm.
we played them in the Final Four. But we lost that game by like in overtime.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, that year I think I averaged like 29, like 7. Like, I had a really good year. We only lost like I want to say like 7 games that year. And then I was originally going to try to go to prep school. That was the plan, but then you know, UNCG came and started. Coach Mack, you know, started recruiting me pretty hard, and he came to a lot of games and we had conversations a lot. NC State was a team that was, you know, on me, but they weren't like really hard, really hard. But they was one of the teams that wanted me to go to prep school. UNC Wilmington was showing a lot of interest. But it wasn't like, you know, North Carolina big house teams that you expect.
Yeah.
High Points, you know, the UNCGs, UNC Wilmingtons, a couple other smaller schools. But, you know, I chose to go to UNCG. Coach McCaffrey, like I said, he was, you know, was always there. He recruited my parents, really. You know, he did a really good job.
Same with me.
Like, tell them about the advantages of, you know, taking the scholarship down versus waiting. Like, he really got them on board, and that was pretty much it.
Yeah, shout out to Coach Matt. He did the same with me. Like, he was calling my mom almost like every other day, and like he basically recruited my mom. That's basically what it was.
Yeah, he's smart.
Get it done.
Tell us about I guess, you know, going into your first year at UNCG and that whole experience of now about to play, you know, Division I basketball, and now, you know, being away from home, being on a college campus and all that.
Well, for me, it wasn't really like being away because, you know, I was like 25 minutes down the road.
But you were finally on your own, though.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, you got the dorm life and everything, so you are on your own. I guess you could say that. But, you know, when I came on campus, like, it was pretty – I mean, everybody was pretty cool on the team. You know, I was working hard on the basketball aspect. And college is a different life, man. Like, you know, you got schoolwork that you got to really, really dial into. And then, like, you know, then you got the after party. I mean, you got, like, you know, like outside of basketball, you know, going out, you know, partying and stuff. So it was just like a whole big, like, kind of a shock to me, like my first, I would say, like month and a half.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I think the first month and a half, I struggled. I was struggling with school. I didn't come with my head on right, but, you know, Coach Mack really got on me real quickly and let me know, like, this ain't what you're here for. So, and I tried to dial back in. I remember a couple of times when we was playing pickup and stuff, Courtney Eldridge, he was like a dog on defense. He would come and, like, kind of work out with us some. And he was just, like, pick me up 94 feet, dog. Like from the minute I came on the court, he was literally right there in front of me, just like, shoulder right to my chest, just like playing. So, yeah, man, like, that was just, like, definitely a wake-up call about, you know, how serious college is, and, like, you know, you got to be on your shit to be able to be one of the best, man. And that was my goal, was to go to UNCG, you know, be as good as possible and try to go pro, whether it be overseas, league. Like, that's what I envisioned as soon as I got there. I really never doubted it 1 minute. Like, I really thought, like, man, if I go here and do what I'm supposed to do, there's no way I don't make money playing basketball. That was my main goal when I got on there. And I know after, you know, freshman year was pretty good. You know, I played some minutes, you know, I played well. And then Coach Matt was like telling me, you know, sophomore year, we're gonna take a lot more responsibility. You know, we're bringing in Kyle, we're bringing a lot of other recruits, and, you know, I think we could have a really good team.
Yeah.
So, sophomore year, man, it was probably
right there, bro.
Yeah, like, it was probably some of the funnest times I've had on and off the basketball court. We literally was like an inch away from going to the tournament. And
Remember that?
one of the hardest games we had, like, I had to, like, swallow, man. Like, that was a tough one. That
was Chattanooga, right?
Yep.
Yeah. But, like, the crazy thing is that, like, we were young, and I think, like, it was a tough game. It was a difficult game, but, like, we were freshmen and sophomores. And in the back of my mind, I was like, we gonna be back here again.
Yeah.
Like, not even necessarily like obviously we didn't get back there, but, like, during that time, I was hurt, but I was like, you know what? Like, we gonna get back.
For sure. Everybody.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it was tough, man, because, you know, we really, like, I felt like that team we had was a team that could go in the tournament and actually, you know, give somebody a run for their money. Like, I feel like we was better off than Chattanooga was going to be in there.
Yeah, we could have
And
surprised people.
Like, we got robbed, man. Like, they called, like, I think they called a charge on me, and it was just like, how do you call that? Like a game deciding play, like. But, you know, they had the home court, which I still don't know to this day how they got that. But it is what it is, man. It's basketball.
Yeah.
Man. So what was your most memorable moment or most memorable game while you were playing at UNCG?
When we played Duke at the Coliseum, even though we lost, but, I mean, it's just like one of those games where you just don't – I mean, it just really was special, man, because, you know, you home, especially me. I got people – Winston-Salem, everybody got to watch me play. And then we got to play against – they were number one at the time, right?
Yeah, they're number one team.
Yeah, so, like, it was, you know, you see these guys on TV all the time, and it was just one of those moments where you were just really like, wow, man, it was a really great experience playing against these dudes, man.
Who was your matchup that game?
I think it was Daniel Ewan and JJ. I mean, I was guarding both of them. So, I mean, but we went zone. I remember JJ hit like 3 after 3 after 3. And he didn't do nothing in the first half. Like, he didn't really do too much first half, but, like, second half, I think he hit probably like 6 threes. I think he finished with like 30, something crazy.
I remember for me, it was the first game we played. It's probably memorable in a bad way, but my very first road game was the game we played at Cameron our freshman year.
Oof.
We got smacked by like.
We was down like 40 at halftime.
Yeah, like we lost by like 54 points. But like it was just like walking into Cameron for the first time. It was like you see it on TV, and it was like you see Coach K come out. It was almost like Coach K came out like a television host. He came out, people was clapping. Like I ain't gonna lie to you, I was like the first like minute of the game, I was starstruck. I was like, yo, this shit's crazy, bro.
All the fans just jumping, going crazy.
Yeah.
Man, this shit look different on TV.
Yeah, it was crazy. And I remember like we didn't get the ball up to half court like the first like 10 possessions of the game, bro.
I knew we was in trouble when Ray, my man, like when Ray Bristow could not get the ball over half court. And Ray might be the fastest, strongest, like at the time guard maybe in the country. Like this dude had a different type of like physicality. So when I saw that he couldn't get the ball over half court, I was like, oh man, like we in trouble.
People don't know when they slap that floor at that time especially.
Couldn't make no pass. Nobody was open.
Shit was real, bro.
What I do?
Yeah, it was like 10, 15 people on the court at one time. We just like But that was fun, man. I think that was like one of my I think that was probably like throughout my career. I think like our experience at UNCG. Obviously, we had some up and down moments. Especially when Coach DeBent came, but just like the relationship that we was all able to build off the court and the moments that we had, man. I think that was the most memorable thing for me.
Yeah, man. Like I said, I mean, I still talk obviously to you, Duke, KO. I mean, I pretty much talk to everybody from the team that so I'll let you know. And it's been how long has that been? 13 years?
Yeah, that's
13 years. So I mean, I'll let you know you actually had a bond with people.
It seemed like just yesterday. Literally, like, when's the last time you been back to school?
I think I went last summer. Last summer I went check on Wes, work out a little bit. Yeah, I mean, anytime I need to come in and get some shots, they always good about having somebody there to help rebound and like anything.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really. I mean, obviously you've seen how the upgrades have been, so it's crazy when you walk in there and they got a whole lounge, PlayStation, locker room look crazy. Dang. And they play at the Coliseum. So
yeah, when I went in there, I told them I was like, yo, y'all, man, y'all don't understand like where this program came from.
I have no idea. No idea. We couldn't
idea.
Court to get shots up.
Yeah.
Pick us out the gym. Like they got the keys to the gym that we got kicked out of. I'm like, damn.
That's what I used to tell them. I used to tell them that we used to remember we used to get the used socks and tights and all that.
Holes in the joints. They don't came a long way, man.
Yeah, man, it's good to see them progress.
They've been pushing along, and it's actually been a really good moment to be a UNCG alumni.
Definitely.
We get to fast forward a little bit. We already talked about your professional career, but I mean, you've been fortunate to play at the highest level of Europe. So let's jump into you talking about playing in EuroLeague. And things, first team you signed with in EuroLeague was, the famous Maccabi Tel Aviv.
Yeah. When I signed to Maccabi, I was trying to decide between Maccabi, Siena, and Milan.
Okay.
Those were like the only three teams I really wanted to consider. I had some other offers from like some other teams, but like those three like made the most sense. And since I was coming from Italy, obviously I was, really interested in Milan. Because, I mean, obviously they had a lot of money and they had a nice city and everything, and they offered me most money. Siena was like offered me the second most money. They had obviously, I think Bo was still there, had a good coach. They played good basketball. So it seemed like that was a very good option too. But then, Maccabi, they actually offered me, I don't know if I'm supposed to say this, but they offered me in the cup. Offered me like a 3-year deal in the cup that I turned down. And I was just like, I'll just wait to the end of the season.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, guys, always bet on yourself, man. Don't.
Facts.
So, yeah, at the end of the season, they were still there. And I talked to Coach Black. We talked a lot, texting throughout the season. And, I was like, man, like, if I'm going to really, really make it in EuroLeague and, like, make a name for myself and make the most, money, I need to go somewhere to a team like this with a coach that's going to let me be me. And he let me be me from day one. Like, he put the ball in my hands and let me play freely. I mean, he coached me for sure, but he also, like, let me go. And that was probably the most important thing I could – for my career as well. Like, he was probably the best on that level, the most willing guy to let me, make mistakes, play through mistakes, take big shots, miss big shots. Like, he would always still like push me to keep going. So that first year in Maccabi was great, to be honest with you. I can't think of no negative moment. We won the cup. We had a pretty good EuroLeague year. We lost in the final. We lost in the Elite Eight to Madrid. We just didn't have enough. I mean, they was just a better team. So that was really exciting, man. I had a great year. That year to me was just like, man, I'm ready for the next year. And then the next year we signed Alex Tyes, Tyrese. We signed like a couple more players, man, and then it was like Joe Ingles. And we started out kind of rough, man. Like,
you know what's crazy though? Not to cut you off, but I think you know this, but I don't think I never told the story before. But I was possibly going to sign with Maccabi.
Yeah,
I left Olympiacos. Yeah, I think we talked about it. I think after I was talking to Black on the phone, and I was right before I committed to Cheska. He was like, "Yo, give me an hour, and I'm gonna see what I can do." And I told you, I remember I called you. I was like, "Oh, Rick, yo, I think this may happen." I was like, "Yo, if they offer me, bro,
crazy.
I'm gonna go play with you." So, and then like you said, I mean, they end up going a different direction, but that would have been crazy, man. And then like you said, 2014. I mean, that's what happened.
You made the best decision. Obviously.
No, definitely, yeah. No, I mean, it all worked out. It all worked out, but I remember that moment. I was like, "Yo, this would have been dope."
We signed a couple good players, man, and then like we started out kind of slow. And I remember they was talking about firing Black, like they were really like close to firing him. And I think like the game that they was talking about firing him, like if we lost this game, we won that game, and then we won like 12 straight. So his job was safe, man, and we finished. I say the second part of the year we was just incredible, and then we went into the playoffs. We matched up with Milan, and we knew like if we really felt good with that matchup. It was like, man, we can get to the Final Four. So first game, we knew we had to get that one.
We got to break that game down because that game is.
Yeah, that game was crazy. That game was crazy.
Y'all end up winning that game. It was I think I was down 13 or something like that. Down 13.
With like I want to say, was it like 2 minutes to go, something like that? Yeah, we was down like 13, 2 minutes to go, and then like we just rallied, man. Like we got a couple steals. I remember I hit a 3 in the corner, and then Keith, he had a chance to, I think, win the game or something. And he missed, like he made one and he missed the free throw. And we came down, Tyrese scored, and then we went into overtime. And then that was pretty much it. We won overtime. I had a real good game that game. Tyrese had a good game, and we went up. We was up 1-0, and we knew it was like after that game we already knew like we're gonna go to the Final Four. There's no way they can beat us at Maccabi. So. Game 2, I don't want to say we just kind of gave it to them, but we knew like, okay, if they give it to us, we're going to try to get it, but we just want to make sure we're ready for them 2 games at home.
Right.
So it was a close game. Game 2, they ended up pulling out in the fourth quarter. Then we went back to Maccabi. Game 3, we was nip and tuck. They started out well. We ended up winning by like 7 or 8. And then Game 4, the game that goes to the Final Four, I just remember us just coming out. It was just like a blur. Like we just stormed the court. We were just like everywhere, and like it was crazy. Like we won by like I want to say like 20, 25 or something like that. But
it was all in the fourth quarter, if I remember. Like the game was tied.
It was like a 20 to like 4 run, something crazy. And then we was crazy. We went to Final Four. It was really that's my first time with crazy experience, with the media, everybody going to the hotel, all the interviews and stuff. It was crazy. It was fun though. But it was we had to match up with Kyle. We matched up with Cheska. First game of the Final.
Still sick about that game.
We definitely didn't. We definitely didn't want that matchup, but all right. So that game was a tough game, man. Kyle, you speak on this too. I felt like. You guys were in control of the game for at least 97% of the game. Like,
bro, though, yeah,
98%.
Yeah. We was up by, I think we was up by like 15, 16 points at like one point, and then I remember correctly, Aaron Jackson got hurt.
Yep.
Aaron got hurt, and then after that, like y'all guards, like we couldn't do anything with y'all guards. Like once Aaron got hurt,
Pargo in the
They didn't put Pargo in, right?
yeah,
It was ISO.
Like,
yeah, like coach decided he wasn't messing with Pargo all year, so he didn't put Pargo in the game.
And that right there was probably something that could have definitely helped y'all because you just needed a physical body out there at that point.
exactly.
Bro, it was just like y'all just basically put our guards on the island, and it was between you, Dev, Tyrese, like y'all just went crazy.
It was crazy because like literally, I remember like I know I came down, hit a 3 in transition, and y'all caught a timeout. I think we was down like maybe 8, and then y'all came down like missed 2 shots. Then I think David Blue, we did a handoff. He hit a 3.
Yeah, that 3.
Yeah, he hit a 3.
No, I honestly think that shot was like the shot. Like, I mean, obviously Tyrese's layup is like one of the greatest shots in EuroLeague history. But I think people forget like that the David Blue shot because we was up by 4. It was like 16 seconds, and that shot is like what basically like put you in position to win a game.
And then we obviously y'all getting ready to pass the ball in bounds. The plan was actually to come and foul. Like we had to foul. So we come and get ready to foul, and then the ball just like it just comes out, and we like like I started sprinting. Tyrese was sprinting, like everybody started sprinting. Someone outlet the ball to Tyrese, and then Tyrese went layup. And that was a game. I was just like, oh my God. Like
it was dope, man. It was dope. It was definitely, bitter. So I remember like bittersweet, but it was good because you know what I'm saying you got yours. I remember going to dinner that night and it was like you can't be mad. But
it was like I was at a funeral. I was like, yo, man. G over here mean mugging me. I'm like,
I'm looking. I'm like, why is this guy even here? I'm like,
oh man, like
you got the permanent cheese face. You just, like,
I mean, at the time, you're really not thinking about it, but looking back, I'm like, damn, I probably should have went and ate somewhere else.
It was dope that we all eat together, though. You know what I'm saying? It was fam, and it was the best. Being I know Mike can speak on this too. Seeing family playing one big game, and then just seeing both of y'all at that level was it was huge. So
yeah, that was a crazy game. Like that right there let us know. Like after that game's like, man, we can definitely win this one because we considered y'all the best team. Obviously, at the Final Four. Like we knew that if we could get past y'all, like we felt that we could beat anybody. So we played Madrid. Like we honestly felt before that game we was gonna win. Obviously, it was a really good game. We went to overtime. Then Tyrese, obviously, he hooped. I played well. Dev played well. Tyus, he was hooping. It was just a real team effort, man. Like, I will say one thing about us is when we played in the Final Four, we really all played together. Like, really good.
I agree.
Basketball. Like, we bonded at the right, like we meshed well at the right time.
Yeah.
We didn't have no egos, nothing. Like Tyrese didn't even play like I would say more than 50% of the season, like 20 minutes. So like for him to stick with it, and you could see he never, showed that like it was getting to him. Like obviously he wanted to play, but he still was always putting in extra work, ready for the opportunity. So. He was an instrumental part of how we got the title, but it just, people don't really know that he didn't really play.
I forgot about that. I forgot the first part of the season, like he was kind of like in like I ain't gonna say the doghouse, but like he wasn't like he didn't really find his role on the team yet. Yeah,
like he wasn't really getting the opportunity. I think he had talked about maybe moving him. So So people don't understand. Like they talked about firing Black. They talked about letting go Reach. Like that whole season was just like destined to be how it happened. I think, man.
You can't talk about Maccabi without talking about the fans. Just talk about the support that they show Because I know they were deep in Milan for that Final Four. I remember them in the streets.
As you saw, man, it was like
Right.
seriously a home game for us. Like anytime we played, it was always a home game, whether it was an Israeli game or EuroLeague game. Like most of the times, they always packed it. Like whenever I've never played on a team where literally when you come on the court, like you get ready to jump ball, like the court feels like it's bouncing. Like they jumping, like everybody's hype. They giving you energy. Like you have no choice but to come out there and give your best and play for that jersey. So I mean, for me, the fans of Maccabi were always. I was one thing I'll definitely always remember.
Even still today, do like Maccabi fans come up to you?
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Like they remember that year so like. I mean, obviously, when you win a title, it means so much to them. So like they remember, and I even see people like Israeli fans that like at our mall over here in Charlotte that they work, some of like the middle stands at a mall where they sell like deep sea, all that stuff. And like they'll come and talk to me, ask me how I'm doing. Like it's just crazy. You see them everywhere. Like be at the airport sometime, they'll come up to you. You be in like the Philadelphia airport, you be in Miami or something. They just pop up and say, So I mean, it's really like a family organization over there.
What was that championship celebration like?
Man, as soon as we like flew in, like not even at the airport, like when we land, like they're right there on the plane. Like literally, you walking down, coming off the plane, like there's literally a whole sea of Maccabi fans just sitting out there. So you can imagine, like when we're trying to get our bags and everything, like you like can't even get your bags. Like everybody just sitting there going crazy, celebrating, and like everybody, we were celebrating for like a whole couple of days. And I just remember when we got ready to start the Israeli playoffs, like we just like, man, we thought we was gonna lose. We thought we was gonna lose, but like
you had nothing left.
We ended up struggling like the first game, but then we ended up pulling it off, and then we like swept through. But yeah, we did. I think we did. We lost one. No, we didn't lose. They did in the finals. They did that stupid rule where they have like 2-game final. And it's a point differential thing. So like we won. But other than that, man, that was a great year. I would have loved to stay, man, but business is business.
What made that team so special? Like what made that like Maccabi team so special? Like as far as like y'all bond, y'all chemistry, like is even still to the day, like today I see like like with Sean, like you and Sean like really close up the street, you and like Lance Silv and you and Tyrese, like you and Joe, like what made y'all bond so special?
Well, I mean, we still all have our same chat from Maccabi.
Really?
Like,
y'all still talking the same group chat from
Maccabi, BFL, Brothers for Life. Like we still have that same chat to this day.
That's like, crazy.
Me, Seal, Joe, Tyrese, Sean, and Dev.
That's crazy.
So we still talk to this day, man. Like we just all had like a crazy bond. I don't know how to explain it, man, but like we would literally go out to eat lunch, dinner all the time. I never been on a team that did this as much as we did in Maccabi. Like we would have team dinners like maybe once a week. 5 or 6 guys would go out to eat lunch, dinner. I mean, we would always just be around each other. So it was just like seriously like a real brotherhood. Like even to this day, like, when I was here waiting to get a job, I was, Joe came, me and him went out to eat dinner, came to the game. It was just like anytime, like in the summertime, like I see Smitty, like Sean obviously lives down the street from me. Seal, we talk to him a lot, even though he's, playing in China. So everybody, I mean, Tyrese, we always talk. Obviously, me and him are close too. So it's like we always are in contact with each other.
What about you and Black? You guys still?
Last time I talked to Black was probably about I say 6 months ago. Just, I remember when he had that illness, just, checking on him, making sure he's okay, man. But, he's still someone that I'll reach out to every now and then, man, just to check on him. Sometimes he'll shoot me a text too. But, he's definitely one of the coaches that I always keep in contact with. It's only a few, but I always keep in contact with certain coaches.
This is a question I always have and always thought in my mind when I left Olympiacos because they kind of broke our team up. What do you think would have happened if you guys would have stayed together at Maccabi? As you said, business is business, but what do you think the type of future y'all would have had together?
Man, we always talked about this to this day. Like, man, they should have kept us together. Like, out of all teams that you break up, like, you don't break up that team. Yeah. But I mean, we definitely. I mean, I know I can speak from everybody. I think that we would have been right there in the thick of it for the next couple of years. Let's say if we had like everybody back for another 2 years, I think we definitely would have had an opportunity because we was already close. Like, when you have teams that have that type of chemistry that we had, that I just think that's already an advantage for you. Like, on the court, you have Tyrese and Tyus that had, a good, communication on the court. Me and Tyus had a communication on the court. Then you had Blue, who, he was a knockdown shooter. Then you had Joe, who could do a little bit of everything. Tyrese. Then you had we had Yogev, who was actually, a backup, but he came in, played his role. Panini out there, like, everybody literally played their role, like, to their best of their ability. I've never seen people accept the roles like they did when I was in Maccabi.
I want to know a little bit about the culture too, bro. Like, living in Tel Aviv, being in Israel, like, what was that like,
Well, my son, he was born in Israel, and my wife, she was with me in Israel. So, like, it was probably, like, the closest place we could say to, like, being home. Like, literally anything you wanted or you needed was there. We could walk right down the street to the beach. We practiced one time a day. So you had time to kind of, go do what you wanted to do. The weather was unbelievable. I mean, it always feels like springtime there. Like, literally, this is all you really need if you're going to Tel Aviv for the year, like a little jacket. And so that right there was always, like, great. Like, it's kind of like in Athens. I'm pretty sure, like, the weather was always like, just makes you in a better mood. Like, you're always positive. It's, just enjoying life. So I think that was, like, the first year where I didn't even think about going home.
Really?
I honestly, like, my 2 years in Maccabi, I never was like, man, I'm ready to go home.
That's crazy.
The only 2 years I never really thought about, like, tripping if I missed Christmas or, like, I was good.
I know you say business is business, and you had to make that move to Fenerbahce. So tell us a little bit about that. What made you sign with Fener?
Well, I mean, my initial plan was to, like, let Maccabi, give me a good offer, but the numbers that they were talking, I mean, they were just so much lower than what Fenerbahce was, offering. So I was just like, if they can meet me at a certain level, I would be open to staying. But they were just, this is what they have. And I was like, I mean, okay. They kind of made my decision easy at that point because, I mean, they were already aware even before the Final Four that Fenerbahce was, about to make me a big offer. So, I mean, I had to do it, man. I'd already took I would say 3 years of basically discounts. So I was like, man, at this point, I got to capitalize on, this opportunity financially. I mean, that's how I was looking at it. And to this day, I still don't regret it because, I mean, it had to be done to secure my family and everything that I was trying to do. I got injured, obviously, probably, worst injuries I ever had. But looking back,
I still remember you texted me about that, about you getting hurt and, wanting to know more about that.
Because I remember, you tore yours too. So, like, man, like, I actually remember it in the preseason. I remember, like, before, like, after we won the title and I signed in Fener, that summer I went, like, probably the hardest. I went harder that summer than any other summer, which for some people they might look at it like, wow, but for me, I'm always the type of person, like, if I'm going to get, like, a big salary or a big money, like, I want to show that I deserve it. So like, I looked at it different than most people. Like I'm like, okay, they gave me all this money. Now it's time for me to show, why they gave me the money. So, I worked extremely hard that summer. I actually came into the summer in too good of shape, if that makes sense. Like they were telling me like, obviously I was at the, best shape on the team when I came in. But like when you come in that good of a shape, I mean, the only place for you to go is down. Like there's no room for you to really go up. So, we going through preseason or whatever, and then I start to feel like this tightness where my heel is and where my Achilles is. But I've never had seriously, the only injury I really had until that point was probably like a sprained ankle. So I'm not really thinking that. I'm just thinking, okay, it's gonna go away. So I keep practicing, in the preseason. We go on like 2 or 3 hours a day too. Like we have our practice in the morning on the track, running. Then we come in the afternoon on the court for like 2 hours. So, and we're going hard. We're going like 3-on-0 full court, fast sprint. Everything with Obradovic is always game speed. There's no such thing as going through the motions or just running a play. Everything's full speed. So, I would say by the time the season gets here, man, like I'm still feeling this same the same thing in this tightness in my heel, and I'm still feeling it. We're going through the year, and then I'm like, all right, man. I remember like after the first game, I'm like, okay, let me see if I can get some treatment. So finally, I tell them, and we started doing treatment. Still didn't get no better. So I keep playing. Then we started doing these injections, which they said were anti-inflammatory injections, which gave me like short-term relief. But I mean, after it wore off, it was still there the next morning, or I still was feeling it. So, yeah, man, I remember I took I'm gonna say 2 weeks off, and I felt great. I feel like probably the best I felt. And I had a good game. We had a Turkish game. I played really well, and we won. And the next game was at home against Malaga. And I started the game off really well. Like, I mean, I was probably running as fast as I felt I ran in a while, like making good moves, passes, like felt great. And then I just remember there's a ball that bounced off the rebound. I was running to go get it. As soon as I grabbed it, took a dribble, like my foot slipped on the logo, and then it was just like it just gave out. Like it was just like it just gave out. Like I just couldn't move. So I don't know. I think I got up by myself, and then as soon as I stood, it felt like literally there was nothing there. Like, it felt like I was walking only on this part of my foot. Yeah. So like everything from the middle of my foot to my heel was like, it's like I wouldn't have known if someone chopped that thing off. Like I feel absolutely nothing. So somebody, they came, helped me, and they kept talking to me. I was like, it's pop. I just tell them like, I know it's pop. I know it's gone. And then my wife, she came back in there and she was asking me, what's going on. And I just broke down. I started crying. I was like, I know it's tore. And they kept saying we're going to take the MRI. I was like, I know it's tore. So we took the MRI the next morning. Obviously, it's tore. And they wanted to do surgery there, but I told them I'm going to go back home and do my surgery. So this is the thing that really frustrated me. So I took MRIs before things got really bad. And then I took MRI like pretty much before I tore, like maybe a couple of weeks before I was cleared to go back on the court. And the doctor, his name is Dr. Anderson. He's actually a doctor with the Packers now. Mm-hmm. It's like the main doctor. He's one of the best Achilles guys in the States, him and another doctor in LA. But he was telling me when I showed him the MRI from the first time, he was like, look, man, like this is called Hagglund deformity. You have bone spurs in your foot, your heel. So he said if I would have just came there, let them shave my bone, got rid of that bursitis, I would have been out probably about 4 to 5 months, but I would have had no Achilles injury, no issues with my Achilles. So, that was kind of, frustrating to hear. But I don't regret anything because I know it's all me. At the end of the day, I know myself. So if I can walk, if I can run, I'm going to play anyway. So,
Yeah.
like, I needed someone to basically save me from myself.
Yeah.
You know, in Europe, that's really hard to find. That's really hard to find. So
you can walk, you can play.
yeah, so I was like, you know what, man? Like, everything happens for a reason, man. And you know, I after the tour, I mean, the first couple of months were rough. Tyler, as you know, those first couple of months are a beast.
Yeah.
Literally, my wife was helping me do everything, like everything. Like, you couldn't really shower. It was just really like a frustrating experience. Like, we had a newborn. We had basically already was like almost one. He's like 1.5, almost 2. So like him being around, and then like it was just really tough. But I got through it, man. Therapy, I attacked therapy. I felt great after I was done. Really good. You know, I joined, like, the team actually had 2 NBA games my second year in Fenerbahce. And I joined them in Brooklyn, and then I left with them to go back to Turkey. But I just remember, you know, feeling really good, man. I was ready to go. It was still a little, you know, tender. I still needed probably 2 more months, which it was exactly that time frame. But I mean, I was really excited to play. But the only thing that sucked, man, is like, you know, once you get hurt, you got a 2-year deal. I mean, they still got to prepare for, you know, the team without you, because when you got an injury, you really don't know when you're going to be back. You know, they can say 6 months, but that 6 months might end up being 10 months. So, you know, I understood they had to go, you know, find the players that they needed to, you know, try to make the most of the season. So when I came back, I was kind of, you know, behind the 8 ball a little bit, but I still got opportunity. When I got in there, I definitely played good basketball. And
no, you still
that's
play
one thing
well.
I can't say. Yeah, that's one thing I can say, with the opportunity that I was given, with the situation and how everything transpired. I feel like I did as much as I could do. You know, the season was, you know, pretty good. We won the Turkish title, got to the Final Four. We beat Madrid. We beat Baskonia in the first game. Then we played you guys in the finals. Was getting destroyed in the first quarter.
I was sick, bro.
I remember I got in the game. I scored like, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 points, and then I came back out and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go back in for sure.
Yeah, that was weird.
Back in, I don't understand that,
The
bro.
rest of the game, I was like, oh my God, this is really happening right now. So I mean, I was just like, man, like, hopefully we can win this thing. At least I get some bonus money. And then at least I get some bonus money. But yeah, man, like, we were down, we fought back. And then I thought we was gonna pull it off, but then Cropper, he redeemed himself.
Redemption, baby. Redemption.
He redeemed himself. I don't know how that ball bounced to where it bounced, but like,
hey, man. The basketball guys, man. Sometimes, you know, they just
they rewarded y'all, man. But I mean, I was happy to see y'all win, man, because at the end of the day, if I couldn't get it, obviously I would rather you get it.
Yeah, saying we always talk about that. Like, it's like when you won, I was like, obviously I was tight during that night, but when you actually won the title, I was like, you know, I mean, I was happy that you got actually, because we talked about it for a long time,
Yeah,
you know,
man,
about, you know, you winning the title and all that stuff. So,
and it's crazy, like, you know how everybody was saying that you guys were, you know, when you got to a certain point, Cheska would, you know, it would be tough for them to finish. You know, they would always try to find a reason why Cheska could win. But when they won, I was just like, I mean, you know, what can you say now? I mean, they came through. They won a tough game, because that was when we played y'all. It was a very tough game. Like, literally anybody could have won the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It was, you know, it's fun though to play Final Four, you know, back-to-back years, man. And ain't nothing like the Final Four, man.
What about I mean, obviously, you know, your 2 years there, because of the injury, you weren't necessarily able to kind of, you know, reach your full potential. But What was it like to kind of play with, Coach Obranovich? Obviously, he's a tough coach. He's he is what he is. I mean, he's a difficult coach, but I mean, he's a legend in Europe. So what was it like just to kind of, play with him?
I mean, everybody, has different opinions about Obradovic, but I would definitely say it didn't go obviously the way that I planned before, but what I learned from him was, everything though, like from X's and O's to, playing the guard, how to read the pick and roll, how to set your man up, changing speeds. Like he just really showed, like he took what your talent was and he was able to try to mold it into to be the best basketball player you could be. And I mean, I always got respect for people like that, always going to want you to improve and teach you different things, because I love to learn new things, especially about basketball. And every day he would always, stop and practice and making sure you're doing the right thing. So, I mean, for me, like, it was definitely like going to school. It was definitely like going to school playing for him.
I did a podcast, a Turkish podcast, like 3-4 days ago, and like one of the first questions they asked me was about you. And they was like how all the Fenerbahce fans, like you were one of their favorite players, and how like all the Fenerbahce fans still love you. And they was like, man, we wish that, they wish that you didn't get injured. So I was gonna let you know that, because it was literally like 2-3 days ago. I was on a podcast and he was talking, like he was saying all the fans, like they still talk about you and still like you was one of their favorite players there.
Yeah, man. It's crazy, man. You get you get those messages from fans and everything, and like I would say when I got hurt, man, like they were always behind me. Like even when I came in the game, they would always like stand up, give me a big, ovation when I checked into the game. Whatever I did positive, they was always, really, really behind me. So I mean, those fans too are like some of the fans that you won't forget. Like Turkish Fenerbahce fans were A1, man. Really was.
All right, so before we, I know we've been on here for a minute, and I know you got 3 kids at home, so I know you gotta get back to the daddy duties. But before we get out, we kind of want to do like a little, like do like a little fire round questions. Kind of go through the first question. I mean, you kind of already answered this, but like, what was your best experience playing overseas, and then what was your most challenging situation?
Best experience was obviously winning a EuroLeague title in 2014. Most challenging definitely had to be when I tore my Achilles. First injury that I've had to sit out for longer than, a couple weeks. So that was definitely, tough.
You kind of talked about this too, but like, what was the place that had the most difficult travel and living conditions? But I guess you kind of already spoke about this a little bit.
Oh, Romania? Seeing those horses and goats, yeah. Romania was tough. Just looking outside your window, seeing horses, goats, and no restaurants, no nothing, just land.
And then obviously, you got a son, RH, Ricky the third, and he's getting older now. So what does he say about like your basketball career? Does he ever like want to watch some of your old games? Like, what does he think about you as a basketball player?
Oh man, he really like when I think about it, I'm trying to think of the place he talks about the most, and that's probably Milan. So I would assume, how old was he? Probably like 3, 2 going on 3. So like that's probably where he remembers the most. Mm-hmm. He's always been happy about me playing basketball. He loves to watch me play. I would definitely say that these last couple of years he knows a little bit more, so he's able to like really talk to me about stuff like, why coach have you on the bench? You should have like that was really fun. Like to actually, talk to him now that he knows we come home from a game or something. If I play good, he'll let me know. If I play bad, like, Daddy, you didn't make your free throws. So it always, I can never really be mad after a game because he's going to make me feel happy or laugh or something. So the last 3 years, that's been really fun to have.
That's good.
And then who's his favorite player other than you?
All right. Who's your favorite player in the NBA? Kobe Bryant.
Kobe Bryant.
Smart man.
Hey, man. That's your favorite player too, right?
Of course.
It's like right there.
Of course. So, like, unfortunately, when he passed away, like, he didn't really, like, know of Kobe like that. He knew that obviously was my favorite player, but, like, then he started to see all the coverage and, like, him playing on the court. So he really got to see him, like, playing. So, it's up to me, and I'm obviously going to let him see a lot of highlights and really know who Kobe Bryant was. I want him to always, kind of an idea who, when they start talking about him, later years down the road when talk about the greatest players that ever played, he's going to remember that. Oh, yeah, he like Greek freak too.
Oh, Giannis?
Yeah. He always play with him on 2K. Every time I come downstairs, he playing 2K. He's playing one-on-one with the Greek freak versus Harden.
Has he beat you in 2K yet?
No, he ain't beat me in 2K.
No.
But it's funny to me though, like when I go down there and I always see him, like, does he really know that Harden doesn't play defense? Or like, is he like every comment's always the Greek freak versus James Harden? So, like, that's really crazy though. But I don't know.
So I definitely want to ask you too, man. I mean, you a seasoned vet. You've been at the top. You've been at the bottom of the overseas game. What advice would you give to young players, coming out?
I would definitely say, man, you get in what you put in. So what you're gonna make or what you're gonna work is gonna be in direct correlation with how much work you put in. I would say be ready to make sacrifices on the way to your final destination, and always bet on yourself, man, because at the end of the day, like, if you don't believe in yourself and you don't bet on yourself, you're not gonna deserve you don't deserve to get that bag or that check that you want.
You and Kyle being in Fleming Gym just met, y'all being in the locker room. Did you guys ever think that you guys would be where you guys are today? As far as like having the type of careers that you guys have in Europe and, families being close and you guys going on vacation. Did you guys think that, this is what you guys would be doing?
I mean, I didn't know. I mean, you never know how these things are going to play out, man. Like, it just lets you know when you meet people that you had a bond, especially, everything. A lot of things with me, a lot of relationships that I have started from basketball. So it just lets you know, like, man, those are like really genuine relationships. If you can still honestly be good friends and communication, and especially if your families are still, in contact as well, like, those are relationships that I think you want to carry with you to the end of time, man. So I'm definitely appreciative for all of the relationships that I've developed, with you guys, as well as Kyle, Duke, KO, and everything, man. Those relationships mean everything to me.
Yeah, definitely, man. I think man. I appreciate you doing this, man. I appreciate you taking the time. Yeah. Sharing your story. So, hopefully this everything will be over soon, and we can get back to our normal lives and get back to hooping, get back to kicking and chilling how we usually do.
Yeah, it's strange, man. Like you said, like, it's really strange right now. Like, you go outside with like no idea of what you're gonna do. Like, I would just love to just be able to, like, even go to a restaurant, sit down and eat, or I don't know, man. It's just really strange, man. I really hope and pray that by the end of this month things are looking a little bit better.
Sure.
See, man.
All right, bro. Appreciate you.
No doubt,
My guy.
All right, man. Y'all take care.
All right, bro.
Always love, man.
All right.